All right, welcome back. Terence Crawford is an absolute savage. My goodness, he absolutely tortured Teofimo Lopez yesterday on Twitter. I am thoroughly impressed, but at the same time, I told you about these young fighters, these four kings, and the fact that they have not been telling the truth and exaggerating for a long time. And Teofimo Lopez got his whole card pulled by Terence Bud Crawford. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford, the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, the WBA 154-pound champion, former undisputed 147-pound champion, and former undisputed 140-pound champion, former 135-pound champion, just all around pretty much the man in the ring in boxing. And he is beefing with Teofimo Lopez, who is probably more full of SHIT than any young fighter in boxing, not named Devin Haney. But he also happens to be one of the more accomplished. But in this very savage back and forth, Terence Crawford pulled his whole card and let everybody know what the real deal is. Young man, you ain't what you say you are. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Consider this video, for you young folk, a public service announcement. Teofimo Lopez has been doing a lot of talking about who he wants to fight next, calling out Terence Crawford, starting drama with Terence Crawford, said a couple things about Gervonta, people acting like Gervonta's ducking him. But guess what? According to Terence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez can't fight anybody because Bob Arum has him balled up in a lawsuit and is preventing him from fighting anyone. Why would Bob Arum do that? Bob Arum might do that because he has a young man in Teofimo Lopez who was really smelling himself for a while there and thinking that he was the biggest name in boxing, running his mouth, trying to be a free agent, putting Bob Arum's back up against the wall, went by forcing Bob Arum to a purse bid, and where Bob Arum loses the purse bid to Triller. But then Triller backs out, doesn't put the money down. And then Eddie Hearn comes in and has the fight with him and George Kambosos. And guess what? He loses. Then he has to go back and be rebuilt by Bob Arum. And as soon as he gets back to another championship with Josh Taylor and becomes a champion with Josh Taylor, he starts throwing his backside again and starts thinking he's the biggest thing in boxing again and runs into it with Bob Arum again. So Bob Arum does what? Says, look, man, you got minimums in your contract. This is at least how I see it. And you're going to fight for the minimums in the contract or what I offer you. If you don't want the fight or if you want more money, you can just sit there and not do anything. And if you sue me, we'll go to court. No worries. You'll be sitting there doing nothing while I'm making money doing other fights. See, these young fighters, when they came in, these young loudmouth fighters, should I say, specifically Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, because I don't think any two fighters really encapsulate that tendency any more than those guys. But, I guess Ryan Garcia is in there as well. However, acting as if you are a big draw before you are, and acting as if you're a star and demanding to be treated like you're this really big star when you're not, will turn people off. And as a result, as soon as you take a little dip, they're going to freeze you up. And that's exactly what has happened with him. And Terence Crawford is laughing at him. And he says, hey, man, you need some money. You want me to lend you some money? And he's calling them all kind of BITCH boys, basically making this whole thing look like he's a cuckold for Bob Arum. And then the fact of the matter is he kind of is. Because look, man, you can't go into the sport of boxing with no moolah, have somebody put you on cards, build you up, and then you just turn your back on them and act like you're this man and you just did it all yourself. And then when you're still under contract with them, think that they're not going to freeze you up and hamstring you if you are acting a buffoon and not working along with their organization and what that organization is trying to achieve. And just so you know, Teofimo Lopez is not alone in this. You also have the very same thing going on with Devin Haney and Devin Haney's and Bill Haney's blatant stupidity in suing and creating barriers between themselves and every major promoter. Look at what Devin Haney, the deal that Devin Haney got fighting with Oscar De La Hoya after he left Eddie Hearn, after he had left Bob Arum, after he had left Eddie Hearn, and before that, after he had left working with the PBC and Showtime. Everything worked well until something goes wrong, and all of a sudden, boom, you crashing and burning. And now you're sitting up there with net profit deals and big time advances. I think what Teofimo Lopez, what Terence Crawford is saying to Teofimo Lopez, I have a suspicion that he can say the same thing to Devin Haney. I have the same suspicion that if you pull out Devin Haney's personal profit and loss statements, that it's going to look somewhat similar to Teofimo Lopez's, which means he's going to be a young man with a lot of money, because the fact of the matter is $400,000 or $500,000 is a lot of money. But $400,000 or $500,000 ain't like the $6 million that Terence Crawford got for fighting Sean Porter from Bob Arum. And he got that after years and years and doing the work. These guys want to pop up, act like they're going to fake like they already did the work so that they can get credit like they already did the work. But when the ticket sales start coming in, people ain't buying it like they know them because they didn't do the work to become known by everybody. They just were loudmouthing and attacking everybody else and getting YouTube views. And now you see them both in a very similar situation. These guys were supposed to be kings. They went from kings to cucks pretty quick. Seems like, because that's exactly how Devin Haney got treated by Eddie Hearn and Turkey Al-Sheikh when they wouldn't even let him in the building for free and wouldn't take a picture with him when he went to London for the fight with Anthony Joshua. And after this, he's now suing Oscar De La Hoya. You think anybody's going to want to work with these guys? Both Theo and Devin are involved in lawsuits with promoters. It's silly, man. But okay, keep enabling them. Keep on enabling them. You see, the fact of the matter is that everything that they were doing worked until they lost. And the difference between Terence Crawford and Devin and Teo, and the difference between Gervonta and Devin and Teo, the difference between Floyd and Devin and Teo, is these guys could keep on winning. And they could put themselves in these positions and say some of the things that they said, because when they get in the ring, they can back it up. Unfortunately for Devin couldn't back it up with Ryan Garcia. Teofimo Lopez couldn't back it up with George Kambosos, and he really couldn't back it up with Jermaine Ortiz either. Truth be told, Devin really couldn't back it up with Lomachenko. I'm the best in the world, I'm going to destroy these guys. Nah, man, you guys are just very, very good fighters. Young fighters, very good fighters, the upper elite of your age group. But that doesn't mean that you are guaranteed the status of superstar. And in no case should you act like a superstar until you actually are one. And even when you are a superstar, you probably shouldn't act like one until you're a super duper star. Because, dude, people don't appreciate all of that nonsense y'all are bringing. Not the fans that are watching it, not the people in business that got to deal with you. But anyway, hey, man, shout out to Terence Crawford, man. I appreciate him teaching these young boys these lessons. Shout out to you, King. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.